Welcome to Rekindled Faith with Melanie Beerda. Whether you've been wrestling with questions, facing doubt, or simply just uninspired, let's dive into what it means to be authentic followers of Christ. Hello, listeners, and welcome to Season 3 of the Rekindled Faith podcast. My name is Melanie Beerda. I am the founder and the host of this podcast. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to sit on this side of the microphone and have wonderful conversations with people from all over the world about the Christian faith. And the heart behind this podcast is to offer hope and hopefully a deeper understanding of what it means to be a Christian and help those that maybe have questions or are wrestling with some doubt in their life, and just opening up the space to have those authentic conversations about real issues that we can sometimes face in this faith of Christianity. So my hope is to inspire and uplift and encourage those of you that may be struggling, or even those that maybe just want to have these conversations and want to understand what other people are thinking about some of these really big issues that we can face, like church hurt and facing doubt and navigating isolation within the church. So I'm excited for this season. I've been recording with people from all over the world and got some really great topics coming up. But before I dive in, I just wanted to say thank you to the listeners that have been with me from the very start. This podcast is almost 2 years old now. I believe I started in January. So in January, it will be 2 years old. And you know what? It's been a learning curve for me to navigate through what it means to even talk into what sometimes can feel like dead space about real life issues and real issues within just like from a position of trying to encourage those that may be struggling in their faith. But honestly, I mean, I'm sitting at my desk talking into a microphone, and God only knows who actually listens to the podcast and everything. So just for me, like, I'm just a normal everyday person, and to come and sit down and have these conversations has been great. I love talking with people and just being able to carve out an hour and have conversations around different topics within the Christian faith. And it's been really eye-opening for me. I've learned a lot through that process and everything. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to those of you that started with me in the very beginning. And you know what? It's been a little bit of navigating through, like, what is this podcast going to look like? What are the goals? What are my hopes and dreams for this podcast? And ultimately, what is it that God is asking me to do? And for anyone that's been along for the ride, you have likely been, I don't know, privy to the reality of some of the struggles that I've faced in navigating this, because I have either put it into my newsletter or posted online or even talked about it within the podcast. It's just kind of awkward sometimes, you know, like, I think when I think about a podcaster, I think about somebody that has it all together. Like, this is just life in general, really. Anybody that's doing something, when you're on the outside, you can look at them and think, wow, like, they're gifted, or they can do that, or they're really doing it. And wow, God's given them that ability to do this really well, or all those things. And so when you start doing something new, like podcasting, it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to be standing or sitting? I'm actually sitting on this side of the microphone and be talking about things. And what does it even matter? But I know that, you know, I don't know, like, the more that I do this, the more that I am humbled by the fact that I'm not here because I am somebody that's super great, or that I have it all together, or that I've even come to a decision on some of the questions that I have about faith and about life in general. But I get this opportunity to sit down and be able to learn more about the Christian faith and learn from people that have walked this road longer than me, and even people that have walked this road for a shorter amount of time than I have. In October, I'll be coming up on 15 years of being a born-again Christian, I guess you could call it. I gave my life back to Christ when I was 21, and, you know, in October, that will be 15 years. And I've learned a lot around what it means to be a Christian within these 15 years. I've had to wrestle through some really dark things. I've had to navigate through seasons of like deep uncertainty and questioning and trying to like navigate through what it means to be a Christian, and not from the viewpoint of this being my parents' faith, but really taking it as my own and deciding, hey, is this something that I really want for my life? And I can say that it is. I am madly in love with God, and I love being able to spend time in God's word and just learning more about who he is and why he cares for us. And, you know, the Bible is a book about history, about the history of our people. And I think it's just a gift to be able to reflect on those pages and see all of what God has done. And of course, there are parts of the Bible that are very awkward or uncomfortable or just downright weird. And just being able to like learn how to read that with the context of which it was written has been a real gift and a real treasure. And I have to say, the people that I've been able to interview on this podcast have taught me so much. And my hope and my prayer is that in those conversations, for those of you that have been listening, my hope and prayer is that you have also been able to learn from the people that I've been able to talk with. And for those of you that are new to this podcast, I just want to say a wholehearted welcome. I'm really excited for what God is doing in my life right now and what he is doing in the life of the podcast. I've got some really exciting news that will be coming up for season 4, and you have to wait for it. So I hope that you hold on and that you keep coming back and showing up and listening in to this wonderful podcast. I love it so much. I'm having so much fun with it. And I'm just really excited for the future of Rekindled Faith. If you are a longtime listener or even have been following me on social media, then you've likely heard me talk about letting go of the idea of building Rekindled Faith into its own ministry. So just to clarify what that means, at the start of summer, I kind of took a digital break and I reevaluated what in my life and in my ministry needs to kind of go away, that I need to be able to let go of and let go and kind of let God dictate what's going to happen with it. And so, you know, my heart and my goal was to have Rekindled Faith Ministries as a ministry that has conferences and workshops, community groups, things like that, to bring people together, to learn together, and to be able to grow in God's word and grow in the richness of Christian faith, and then be able to like go out and share it with others. And I don't think that goal is completely gone, but I think for this season, I'm just lying it down, and my hope is to just continue with the podcast and continue to show up in this aspect and go from there and see what God brings with it. In my personal life, it's pretty exciting. My youngest child just started kindergarten, which means that I have more time on my hands. I am a stay-at-home mom, freelance writer and speaker. So sometimes I have paying jobs and sometimes I can food or make bread, and it's a good time. Also have a flower garden. Love it. Anyways, so I've got more time on my hands. And so with that time, I've decided that I'm going to go back to school. So I signed up for a biblical studies program at a local college. And so I'm diving into that this season and going to be learning about Old Testament survey and hoping to do a minor in psychology because I just love the human brain. And I love learning about humans and why they do the things that they do, and how, honestly, like the whole trauma piece and the whole, the struggling to let go of past events that can definitely hinder us from our relationship with God and just being able to live our best life. So I'm diving into a little bit of education for myself. And again, I'm holding that also with an open hand to just allow God to move in the areas that he sees fit within my life. And, you know, if I end up going to school long term, that's great. And if I just take a few classes here and there, I'm okay with that too. So yeah, there's a lot that's been changing in life, and it's been a good time. So as we jump into season 3, the overarching theme for this season is questioning faith. And so we're going to be covering topics such as God's divine hiddenness, religious confusion, and spiritual blind spots. The whole goal with this season is to understand that doubt is not a detour, or it doesn't have to be a detour, but it is part of the journey, part of the experience of coming back to Christ, learning how to navigate through the uncertainty that can happen in life, and how we can sometimes wander off the path a little bit and get curious about other things and distracted by other things. But at the heart of it, that God calls us back into that invitation to walk with him and to lay down everything that causes distraction and causes us to be separated from him, and really take up his way of living out our lives. And I want to encourage you in this season to really, truly understand the depth of this invitation that God has for you, and the fact that he has sacrificed literally everything to invite you into his family and to offer you an everlasting love and an everlasting hope that will surpass everything that you have ever known to be true in your life. And I hope that as you listen to the conversations that are had this season, as you listen to people's personal testimonies of navigating through uncertainty and recognizing that Christianity is more than just one faith religion, but that it is, in the words of Glenn Scrivener, the air that we breathe. We live in a world that was created on purpose, with people that were created on purpose for the purpose of living in relationship with God and with each other. And my hope this season is just that we can come back to that understanding of knowing that it's okay to have questions. It's okay to wrestle with doubt. It's okay to be uncertain. But at the heart of it, at the core of Christian faith, there is a God that has sacrificed literally everything to invite you into relationship with him. And I hope that that is what really comes through in this season. Now, we're going to be talking about people's experience navigating other religions and how they've encountered Jesus and come into a relationship with Christ. And I'm really excited about that, because there is something beautiful about the gift of testimony, of being able to share our own experiences and how God has redeemed us of our past, redeemed us of our rebellion. And you know what? Some of us have grown up in the Christian faith our whole lives, and some people refer to having a boring testimony, but I've said this before and I'll say it 100 times again. There is no boring testimony. God's faithfulness is shining through the lives of people today. And, my friend Bonnie Pugh was on last season, and she talked about salvation for the church kid and how she had to come to terms with the fact that, just because she grew up in church doesn't mean that she doesn't need salvation too. And she doesn't need to lie down her life and sacrifice her life in order to take up the cross and follow Christ. So that was a great episode. But yeah, my point is that there is no boring testimony. There are different testimonies. There are different life experiences. Some of us have really quite abrupt testimonies of how God was faithful to redeem us from a rebellious time in our lives. And some of us have a little bit more of a faithful wandering of walking with Christ and navigating through being a church kid and growing up in the faith and walking out in faith, going to Bible school and all those things. And it's a beautiful thing. Both of those testimonies are beautiful, because at the heart of it is the gospel message that Christ came for all of us and has offered us all a relationship with him and to be connected to God. So hopefully that encourages you. But yeah, so we've got quite a wonderful list of people that we'll be having on the show, and I'm really excited about it. I've got people such as Andy Bannister from Solas Ministries, Alonzo Paul from the Oxford Center for Christian Apologetics, along with Victoria from the same space, and we've got Mark from Iron Ministry, and even Bonnie is going to come back on, Bonnie Pugh from the Union Movement. We went camping this summer and we had a really interesting experience up in the mountains, and so we're going to kind of share about that and just how God really used that time to throw us into a deep prayer session for the people around us and everything. So stay tuned for that. We'll have some details coming up. But yeah, that's just a little snippet. I'm not going to give it all away, but I'm really excited that you're here with us. And this season is going to be all about one-on-one interviews, conversations with people, and the whole goal, again, is to just encourage you that it's okay to have questions. It's okay to wrestle with doubt. And you know what? Invite you into the Christian story. So this is officially the first day of season 3. So you can expect that every other Monday you'll get a fresh episode coming out, and then for the next several weeks. And then following that, season 4 will be happening every Monday. So stay tuned for all those details as well. That will be happening in the new year, kind of a celebration for the fact that we're 2 years old almost. In the new year, we will be. So I would ask that you would consider following the show if you're not already, subscribe, all of those things, but also share it. If you could consider sharing it, even if it's just with some close friends or family members, my hope is that this podcast can get into the right hands of those people that are craving authenticity, that are craving real, raw conversations about what it means to be a Christian in 2025 and how we can navigate through some of those difficult questions that we can have as believers. So please consider sharing it. If, I don't know who's in your life, but if there's somebody in your life that you think and even one of the episodes would resonate with, please consider sharing it. Share the whole show. I really hope that this is able to uplift, encourage, and inspire people that are struggling, or people that just need a little pick-me-up in the season of life that they're in. And I'm really just excited for that. So, and if you would also consider leaving a rating or a review of the show, if there is a specific episode that you have enjoyed, I'd love to hear about how it has impacted you. If if there's a person that has been interviewed that you've really enjoyed, I'd love to be able to share with them how you've been impacted by their message. So feel free to reach out. You can contact me through my website, melaniebeerda.ca, fill out the contact page. If you seem like a spammy person that's trying to sell me something or something, I won't reply. But if you seem like a legit human being and not a robot, I will contact you. So just as we kind of send off from here, this is not going to be a long episode. Just as we send off from here, though, I just want to say again, thank you. Thank you for choosing to dive into this podcast. Thank you for coming along for the ride and for just being willing to receive what God has for you in this season. And I pray that as you go about your day today and in the weeks ahead, that you will just find that you are so aware of the heart of God for you and his desire to have a relationship with you, an authentic, real, raw relationship with you, my friend. That you would understand that God is seeking after you. As he left the 99, he is coming after you. So just as you go out from here, I just pray that you would just understand that truth at that core level, that you would know it doesn't matter what your past has been like. It doesn't matter what way you've gone astray or where you've fallen short or what you've done to, just cause that feeling of shame and bitterness within your own life or the things that you've experienced at the hand of other people. All of those things, God is so willing to embrace you in the midst of the fact that you are living in a broken world with broken people and broken expectations. God is willing to receive every single part of you, and he does love you, and he will call you out of this season of rebellion if you're in it, or, if you're just trying to run away from him and everything. Man, God will seek after you in every moment of your life. So I just hope and I pray that wherever you're at today, if you're in a season of running or if you're in a season of questioning or just facing the uncertainty of life and wondering how God can be good, I just pray that you would just hold on a little bit longer and just trust the process, that it's not going to make sense in a minute. It's not going to make sense overnight, but as you continue to pursue the heart of the Father that created all things, that created you for the purpose of having a relationship with him, just as you rest in that understanding, that you would understand fully that you are loved, that you are cherished and adored by the God above all gods, Beautiful. I love it. God is so good. He is so faithful. And my hope is that through this podcast, through this season, we can really bring it back to the fact that it's okay to wrestle. It's okay to face doubt. It's okay to be uncertain. And at the heart of all of those things, God is still faithful. God is still steadfast, and his heart is for you. He will change you and transform you into the person that he intentionally created, the person that he intended you to be. And I promise that as you pursue him, as you allow yourself to be sanctified by his word, to be cleansed of all things, and as you pursue that heart that he has for you, you will come to love yourself in a new way of understanding that you were created in the image of the Most High. So buckle yourselves in, because this is going to be a great season for you, for me, and for those that get to join us on this podcast. Thank you again for your faithfulness, for showing up, and being a part of this wonderful ministry that I get to be a part of too. I just pray blessings over your day, over your week, and I look forward to connecting with you in 2 weeks. Bye for now.